anyone has perceived that that invisible and helpless worm has been busily employed in consuming its substance. Well, what he's saying is true. That's what Chatwin Glendora is devoted to right now, is to informing you of the decadence. It's really gangsterism that's going on in the United States courts today, and also the state courts and the municipal courts and the village courts. The decadence, the cheating, the lying, the thievery, and that the judges have gradually done this, and the public has let them get away with it. So I'm here to tell you, public, that you're not going to let them get away with it. You have to rise, and you have to claim, and you have to regain, repossess what has been stolen from you. Thomas Jefferson letter to Monsieur A. Coray, October the 31st, 1823. See, even Thomas Jefferson knew how bad judges were. The judiciary of the United States, says Brown, Michael Brown, is the subtle core of sappers and miners constantly working underground to undermine the foundations of our confederated fabric. A judiciary independent of a king or executive alone is a good thing, but independence of the will of the nation is a solecism. Solecism is a non-standard usage or grammatical construction, a violation of etiquette, an impropriety, a mistake, or an incongruity, says Brown, at least in a Republican government. So, I read that to you on 7/16, Monday. Let's go on to Forbes here, who tells you about killer lawyers. I tried to read to you about a couple of them every week. And let's see where we left off. 7/7. Lords of the Ring. I'm not going to read you that. They are so dirty, those matrimonial lawyers. I just can't stand it. They ruin marriages, and then the children involved. No. I can't read you that. Fred Bartlett Jr. made $6 million. He's a graduate of University of Illinois Law. And this West Point grad is perhaps America's hardest working trial lawyer. 51 weeks in the courtroom in the last 3 years. Bartlett, 68, usually defends big corporations such as DuPont, United Technologies, and Reebok. But in recent years, he has also something on behalf of corporations, mostly on intellectual property matters. Bartlett refuses to bill by the hour, instead charging by the result. Based in Chicago and Denver, he guided President Bush's legal effort in Florida's disputed election. Boo! That's a terrible thing. The people of the United States should elect the President of the United States. Now representing Micron in patent litigation against Rambus. Boo! I hate that thing about Bush. Larry W. Sonsini made $5.4 million as a lawyer. He went to University of California, Berkeley. Sansini is high-tech's attorney of choice, heading an 800-lawyer machine in Palo Alto that did 44 initial public offerings in 2000 alone, including AGILENT and Palm spin-offs. This tech bust is making it harder. The firm canceled its annual Pebble Beach bash. Sansini, 60, sits on 6 public boards, including PIXAR. Okay. Hearing about these crooked lawyers a couple of a week is enough. Have you seen the New York State Legislature on TV or on the internet? Are you enjoying your freedom? Thank a veteran. Are you enjoying your freedom? Thank a veteran. Remember this crooked judge, John P. de Blasio. I picketed him last week up and down in front of the, I told you about it, Supreme Court House, State of New York, County of Westchester. De Blasio spends his time in a TV class instead of in the courtroom. He got caught by Gannett. Here's a list of names that Americans for Legal Reforms wants information upon. Do you know about anything about Dominic Barbara or Michael Rubenfeld or Judge William Kent or Judge Robert Nicholson or Judge Stanley Harwood or Stephen Jelinek or Donald Schilbaum or Grace Moran or Carl Wand or Susan Parker or Gary Herbst or Jerry Dickstein? If you do, call ALR. Funeral. How much do you want to pay for a funeral? I want to pay the least possible. I want to pay the least possible. If you don't want your life savings spent on a funeral or something like that, then you got to call ahead and get the prices and choose the price that you want and the funeral director that you want. Okay? And you got to write it down on a piece of paper and leave it for your survivors. Here's AT&T Corporation. This is stock we just bought. And the reason we bought it is that we sue AT&T for the way they handle cable TV, public access. Now, service lists. Okay. Z. Virgil Conway, Chairman and CEO. Michael C. Asher, MTA Bridges and Tunnels. Robert Moses Building, Randall's Island, New York, New York, 10035, 212-360-3000. Gentlemen, 1. Glendora requests the immediate discharge of number 1018. Glendora was coming from Westchester to Long Island by way of the Throgs Neck Bridge. She took the farthermost lane to the left. She was accompanied by her husband Franklin and her dog Acumen. Number 1018 was at the cash register. She showed him her 2 signs, Citizens Against Tolls and Visit our website, We Hate Tolls. He said he had seen them before. Well, he has not, because Glendora has never seen him before, but he is very good looking. Glendora said, well, you are going to see them again, again, and again, and again. Glendora has a 42 U.S. Code Section 1983 right to free speech, and number 1018 is not going to violate it under color of state without being liable to her. Then, in Volpe retaliation style, number 1018 said, "I'm going to write you up for this, no seatbelt." Well, that's what all cops do when their ego is busted. A gun, a cap, a badge escalates them on a euphoric ego trip, a personal frolic, to Hades with professional police officer conduct. 7 times he refused to take the $5 bill Glendora proffered to him for a toll. He kept agitating, "You can go to jail for this." Then a man in tan clothes came into the toll booth. He took the $5. Volpe type number 1018 said 4 times, "Don't give her back her change." Another man in navy said to Glendora, "Is everything all right?" And Glendora said, "Hardly." The man in navy blue said to the man in the tan clothes, "Give her her change." And Glendora asked for her receipt. Here it is, folks. Number 1018 stood outside the booth facing the bridge. As Glendora pulled away, he growled at her, just like a dog, and bared his teeth. Just like an animal. This is so much for professional police conduct. What you read here will be read on TV. Voila. Glendora's on 22 TV stations. Yours in truth, Glendora. Unbelievable, isn't it, folks? Now, this is an old one. Manager of the Throgs Neck Bridge. Toll taker number 1101 is rude, pugnacious, surly, disagreeable, and nasty. He must be discharged. It is too bad because he has handsome red hair. He really does. He's so blessed. There have been 2 distasteful encounters with him. Yours in truth, Glendora. I'll hand these in tomorrow when I go through the bridge on my way to Lynbrook to edit. That's a repeat. Oh, this one. It's long, but it is so good. I mean, it's so good into exposing what's bad. All right. We've gone 34 minutes. All right, well, let's start it anyway, because it's really valuable for you to know this. You've got to know what's going on. Do you like the new museum? It's nice. Finally, Ackerman has calmed down. And Trusty Rusty, he's such a good dog. Letter and memorandum to the court by Glendora, witnessing that the plaintiffs are right and the defendants are wrong. Maldonado versus Sand. Nelson Torres Maldonado, Myrtelina Sierra, Leilani Sierra, Alice Sierra, and Colin Guerrero, plaintiffs, versus Leonard B. Sand, Alan G. Schwartz, Ralph K. Winter. The first 2 are United States District Judges, punks, and the next one, Ralph K. Winter, was a former Chief Judge of the Second Circuit, another punk. Jose A. Cabranes, these are all judges of the District Court, Southern District of New York, or of the U.S. Court of Appeals, Second Circuit, your court, the only place you have to go. Okay, here we go. Jose A. Cabranes, Guido Galaprese, Dennis G. Jacobs, Robert A. Kassman, Amalia Kurse, Pierre N. Laval, Joseph M. McLaughlin, Frank Parker, Rosemary S. Pooler, Robert D. Sachs, Sonia Sotomayor, Chester J. Straub, John M. Walker Jr., Richard J. Cardamom, Wilfred Feinberg, J. Edward Lombard, Thomas J. Miskell, Roger J. Minor, John O. Newman, James L. Oakes, Ellsworth A. Van Grafelen, Mary Jo White, Bernard Madsen, Eileen Shapiro, and several unknown staff attorneys, defendants. Civ number is blank, and yet this was filed in 1999. RICO 18 U.S. Code Section 1964A, petitions for declaratory and injunctive relief, 28 U.S. Code Sections 1331, 2201, and 2202. Request to appear before special grand jury, 18 U.S. Code Section 1332A. Glendora annotates. Glendora has had judicial encounters with everyone on this list excepting Pooler, Straub, Lombard, and Shapiro. Glendora has personal knowledge that everyone on this list excepting these four, and Minor and Van Grafelen, is an apostate, a hollow black robe who has betrayed oath of office. She has been before these people several times. They are all, excepting those she listed, traitors to the United States of America. How badly these people needed what you are doing to them. Excepting those six, Glendora lists, she would appear as amicus curiae. Is this of any help to the cause? Glendora was thrilled to see the caption and exhilarated to discover somebody besides her was going after these gangsters. Gene Crescenzi says the total worth of Calabresi, as stated on his judicial disclosure statement in Washington, D.C., is $28 million. A judge who makes $130,000 a year plus, his total worth is $28 million. Well, Calabresi is very good at selling decisions, apparently. And Gene says that Ruth Bader Ginsburg put down $23 million as her total worth. Brown wrote me this note, and I think he's saying write it out and he'll find out what law applies. And I said to Brown, does this refer to the 8th Circuit refusal to tell me the names of the judges on the panel who dumped America in Galgano versus James Dolan, which I appealed? If so, mission is accomplished. Chief Judge capitulated and gave me the names. I had already sued them anyhow. Judges in the United States District Court of Alaska, Glendora versus Benson. I don't know, folks, this is so long, but it is so good. I guess I'm going to give you a synopsis of it. Statement of the case. Plaintiff Nelson Torres Maldonado, like many others before him, has been defrauded of judgment in the 2nd Circuit of Appeals by staff attorneys and appellate judges themselves. And Glendora is one of the many. A complaint that appears to be endemic to the judgments, quote unquote, of the 2nd Circuit is that the issues raised are not the issues addressed. And how? You go down there and you raise the issues of your rights, they ignore them completely and talk about something that you didn't even sue upon.